Good afternoon. We have Dr. Jason Chow, an assistant professor at the University of Maryland, here today. And Dr. Chow contributed to our chapter on quasi-experimental designs. And he just has a wealth of knowledge about quasi-experimental designs, teaches quasi-experimental design meta-analysis courses, and is an IES early career grantee. Without further ado, Dr. Chow, my first question for you is, what are the biggest challenges in conducting education research?
Well, thanks, Brittany, for having me. I think one of the most challenging things about conducting educational research is actually some of the other stuff other than the actual educational research that you need to do to actually have successful projects. So I think one thing is, recognizing and understanding that we as ed researchers, we wear a lot of hats. And then, whether it's being a researcher, a district partner, a teacher, then a lot of us are supervisors, mentors, we can serve as consultants, collaborators like you and I, that sort of thing. So, understanding and wrapping your head around all these hats and being able to shift between them relatively well, I think is one of the most challenging things I found in my early career. But really, it is being able to shift between those roles that allows us to do the work that we want to do. So I think I think the classic challenges in securing grant funding, having good partnerships, recruitment, really developing true partnerships that are helpful to both parties, I think is really challenging. But really just understanding the big picture, I think, is one of those humps we all got to get over.
And that brings us to our next question. What is the relationship between method and research question? Why use quasi-experimental methods?
Well, I think that's a good question. So I think it's, yes, you can have a really strong method to answer a research question, but you can also have a weak method to answer a question. And so, the strength of your method is one thing, but it's also how aligned and appropriate is that method to answer the question of choice, right? So I think we as researchers, it's our responsibility to make sure that not only are we using strong methods or we asking the right questions, but making sure that those methods are tailored towards answering that specific question. So your question is, what's the relation between the two? And I think my feeling and my belief is that they should be related, but they sometimes aren't always. And that's why I think a big advocate of the peer review process, because a lot of times we need each other's help to make sure that we have the best and strongest method for that question to be answered.
That's an excellent response, and it ties your two responses together. You have to have the right collaborations to make this work. Science isn't done in a silo, and peer review is one way that we ensure and hold each other accountable for having excellent questions and appropriate methods, which parlays into our final question. What do you have as far as advice for beginning researchers?
Advice for, I feel like I've just begun myself, but something that's helped me a lot in this early career phase is just being understanding and kind to myself. I'm not going to know everything. I'm not going to get everything right, and really just taking the field and the career as a researcher as a challenge, and a sort of hard but fun challenge, but also just understanding that it's not black and white, right? It's not right or wrong. You can have a really good idea that either doesn't get funded or the article doesn't get published, or you can have, I think we can all think of examples of times where maybe some not so strong stuff has been successful, and so just understanding that it's a human profession. Humans make a lot of decisions, so it's not like right, wrong, strong, weak. There's a lot more nuance to it. So just being kind to yourself, particularly when things don't go your way. And then just, celebrating with yourself and with your peers and your friends and your colleagues when things do go your way. Because I think I always remember all the things that don't go my way, and sometimes I need to remember the things that do go my way.
That is excellent advice. And you are so humble, Dr. Chow. Your work is amazing. And I'm excited to continue to follow your career and also to have you as a part of this book. Your contribution is greatly appreciated. And I hope you have a lovely afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brittany.